Have you ever wondered what would happen to the Chinese Navy if the Type 052D Aegis destroyer suddenly ceased production? This isn't mere speculation. Growing signs and discussions point to a possibility. The career of this distinguished warship, which has been churned out like dumplings over the past decade, and forms the backbone of China's regional air defense, may be nearing its end. From the public's rapt attention, when the lead ship Kunming entered service in 2014, to the current fleet of over 20 vessels anchoring all three fleets, the Type 052D's journey epitomizes the condensed history of China's modern destroyer development. Yet as the call to explore the deep blue seas grows louder, and technological iteration outpaces imagination, even the formidable Type 052D appears to have reached the ceiling of its design framework. This is not a curtain call, but a pivotal transformation shaping the future fleet's architecture. The central question remains, who will take the baton, and what new course will the Chinese Navy chart? Let us rewind to the 052D's moment of glory. Remember the awe it inspired during its debut. Its sleek stealth hull, 4 massive Type 346A active phased array radar arrays, and the 64-cell vertical launch system with integrated hot, cold cells. Military analysts once noted that leveraging late mover advantages, the Type 052D surpassed even the U.S. Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers in radar performance and stealth design. It stands not only as the pinnacle of China's third-generation destroyers, but also as the undisputed backbone of the People's Navy's surface fleet. From shipyards in the north to those in the south, one Type 052D after another has been launched, outfitted, and commissioned. Hull numbers extend from 172, with the total number ultimately reaching a staggering 39 vessels, making it the most produced missile destroyer class in the history of the People's Republic of China. It frequently appears at major events, whether hosting defense ministers from multiple SCO nations for onboard tours, or visiting Hong Kong to showcase the prowess of a great power's naval blade. The Type 052D confidently represents the image of the modernized Chinese Navy. Yet, every weapons platform faces physical and temporal limitations. The 052D's design lineage traces back to the earlier 052C and even 052B classes. Its 7,000-ton hull platform was constrained from inception by the power limitations of domestically produced propulsion systems at the time. To achieve high speeds with limited propulsion, designers adopted a relatively tall and narrow hull profile, giving the Type 052D its slender appearance. This slenderness masks increasingly evident developmental bottlenecks. The foremost challenge is extreme space constraints. A 64-cell vertical launch system, extensive radar and electronic equipment, and crew living quarters must all be squeezed into this 7,000-ton hull. Analysts note that living conditions for sailors aboard the Type 052D are notably cramped, with some quarters housing up to 18 personnel, a stark contrast to the Type 055 destroyer, where similarly sized quarters on a 10,000-ton vessel accommodate only 8 sailors. Such living conditions should not be underestimated. During extended deployments lasting months at sea, poor accommodation severely impacts crew members' physical and mental health, as well as their sustained combat effectiveness. Second, limitations in endurance and self-sustainment. The Type 052D's range of approximately 4,500 nautical miles at 18 knots proves somewhat strained when accompanying carrier strike groups on global deployments, resulting in high dependence on logistical resupply. Finally, and most critically, upgrade potential is exhausted. Virtually every inch of internal space has been utilized, making it exceptionally difficult to install larger sensors, accommodate massive power systems for future laser weapons or electromagnetic railguns, or house larger next-generation missiles. It can be said that the platform potential of the Type 052D has been fully exhausted. It is an outstanding vessel, perfected within its existing framework. Simultaneously, external challenges and the tide of technological advancement are driving change. The U.S. Navy's newest Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers have begun testing next-generation radars utilizing gallium nitride technology, significantly enhancing detection and anti-jamming capabilities. Japan and South Korea are also advancing their next-generation destroyer programs at a rapid pace. For the Chinese Navy to maintain technological superiority, or even establish a generational gap, it cannot afford to stand still. Fortunately, China has secured the key to breaking this deadlock: propulsion. Domestically produced naval gas turbines have achieved a milestone breakthrough. The maturation of the CGT-30M and the more powerful CGT-40M gas turbines has cleared the final obstacle for China to build larger, more balanced, and more power-efficient naval platforms. The days of designing slender hulls to accommodate propulsion systems are over. Designers can now plan more ideal ship configurations optimized for seaworthiness, space utilization, and stealth performance. Thus, the outline of the Type 052D's successor gradually took shape amid rumors and analysis. A new generation multi-role destroyer with a full load displacement of approximately 9,000 tons. It may be designated as the Type 052E, representing the ultimate evolution of the Type 052 family, or it could launch a new chapter under an entirely new designation, such as the Type 057. The nearly 2,000-ton increase in displacement will bring comprehensive enhancements. The most visible change will likely be the expansion of vertical launch cells, projected to rise from 64 to around 80 while retaining the 850mm large caliber advantage. This configuration will accommodate the full spectrum of weapon types, from air defense, anti-ship, and anti-submarine missiles to land attack cruise missiles, and future hypersonic weapons. The larger hull allows for further optimization of radar arrays, and more thorough stealth design, potentially adopting integrated masts and dual-band radar systems as standard features. For the crew, more spacious living quarters and enhanced recreational facilities will significantly improve quality of life during extended deployments and sustain combat effectiveness over the long term. For the fleet as a whole, 9,000-ton vessels offer superior ocean-going capability and extended endurance, enabling them to better serve as the armed escorts for aircraft carriers, patrolling broader expanses of the world's oceans. So, will the Type 052D be discontinued immediately? The situation may be more dynamic than a simple yes or no. A reasonable hypothesis is a dual-track transitional strategy. If the technologies for the new 9,000-ton class destroyers, such as full electric propulsion and new integrated radio frequency systems, have matured and the Navy's demand is urgent, shipyard production resources may swiftly shift to the new vessels, making the discontinuation of the Type 052D logical. On the other hand, considering the time required for a new model to progress from prototype validation to mass production, coupled with the Navy's ongoing need for mainstay destroyers, it is conceivable that shipyards could continue producing the technologically matured and process-optimized improved batches of the Type 052D in the short term, while simultaneously undertaking trial production and small batch construction of the new model. This strategy maintains a steady pace of ship launches, preserves shipbuilding capacity and skilled workforce, while effectively managing technical risks to ensure a smooth and robust transition to operational capability for new vessels. Regardless of when the final Type 052D is launched, its era of prominence is gradually drawing to a close, while the Chinese Navy's fleet structure is entering a new phase, characterized by greater diversity and clear hierarchical progression. Looking ahead, we may witness this evolving landscape. The Type 055 10,000-ton destroyers, serving as flagships and high-end strike corps, will spearhead the fleet. New 9,000-ton multi-role destroyers serving as the fleet's backbone, undertaking heavy air defense, anti-submarine warfare, and escort duties as the sturdy shaft, while the large number of already commissioned Type 052Ds will continue to leverage their outstanding performance as reliable shields. They will form task groups with vessels like the Type 054B offshore patrol frigates to guard coastal waters, handle routine combat readiness, and create an efficient high-low mix with the former. From aircraft carriers and amphibious assault ships to destroyers and frigates of varying tonnages, the Chinese Navy's equipment system is becoming increasingly comprehensive, better equipped to support the global presence and operational missions of a blue water navy. Therefore, the rumored discontinuation of the Type 052D is less an ending than a glorious legacy and an evolution toward greater ambition. It has successfully completed its historical mission of catching up and keeping pace, passing the baton to successors with larger platforms, greater potential, and a stronger focus on the open seas in the future. When we one day see that larger Chinese Aegis destroyer cutting through the waves in the vast ocean, we will surely remember that beneath its silhouette lies the solid foundation and shining glory forged by the over 30 steel giants of the Type 052D family. The journey into the deep blue seas never ceases, and the evolution of warships knows no bounds. This, perhaps, is the most vivid and resounding testament to the Chinese Navy's march toward greatness.